think about it. If the President of the United States or the Prime Minister of England or something were this really strong, beefy guy or woman, you know, just someone like that, even in that case, do you think that that person would travel around without bodyguards?
True, but this is an RPG.
Yes.
And I would say something about our Prime Minister, but I think I'll keep it off YouTube.
Wait, what?
I said I could say something about our Prime Minister, but I think I'll keep it off YouTube. There's not many British people like him. That's all I'm saying.
Is it David Cameron? Is that his name?
Yes.
Okay, good. Sometimes I worry that the name that I have in my head for the leader of a certain country is like the leader that was there 10 years ago or something.
Yes. Won't bother me if you got it wrong.
Well, I'd like to stay informed. Anyway, you can go past here to get a secret treasure.
Yay!
Favorite outfit guards against the itchy status. The itchy status means that you can take no action except sphere changing. It's annoying, but it's not really that bad because once you sphere change, then the status is gone.
Interesting.
Basically makes you waste 2 turns.
That's annoying.
Unless you're fine with the new Dressphere, in which case you just waste 1 turn.
Did you get any new Dresspheres in this session? Or?
Yes, later. I also got a new garment grid just then. I think it was the Heart of Flame, which is basically the same as the Thunder Spawn garment grid, except for fire instead of thunder.
Their leader is a former crusader named Nuge.
Their leader is a former crusader named Nuge, or as I like to nickname him, Noob.
Oh, don't have to do that, YouTube. Put me back. What time are you on?
31:45. What did it do?
It just like pushed me back to 8 minutes. To 35.
That is unprovoked and stupid.
I know.
Alright, 32. You just go to 32 minutes.
I'm at 32:02.
Alright, you should just see me getting a treasure chest with the Restless sleep garment grid in it.
Yeah.
Okay. That has various status effects on it. You can use spells that inflict those effects. You can become immune to them, and you can have them added to your attacks. Not the most useful one in my opinion, but I put Dresspheres on all the garment. Notice what's in the background of that one. It's a Marlboro.
Oh, I hate it fighting them.
Yeah, no kidding. They're not as bad in this game as they are in FF8. And here's me not...
I'm trying to get up there.
Well, that's part of the camera shifting around, and... Geez, kids, can you swing those swords somewhere else? Like, not in my face.
Goddamn kids.
Yuna has an extremely girly run.
I am Lucille, commander
Like
of
she's
the
worse
Youth
than
League forces.
Keistis.
It's good to see you.
Hiya! I am glad to find you well. As you can see, I joined the Youth League to aid in the fight for a new Spira. I consider it my duty. Maiden Nuge, our leader, has been
No,
looking
I
for
know,
weapons with my
but
lady for
it's
some
a...
time.
For some
Unfortunately, he is planning a mission of great
reason, these
import and will be
games
occupied
need
well into the
to
night.
make sure that
I am
you
terribly
know
sorry, but I
every
must ask that you return another day.
conceivable
Oh,
gender
it's no
stereotype is
My apologies.
followed
The Youth League's
unless
looking for
they're
spheres,
making a
too.
point of it not
Right.
being followed.
Yes, knowledge
You
of
know
the
what I
past
mean?
is the key to
Yeah.
the future,
Which is
says the
annoying.
maiden.
I agree.
It is with these words in mind that we seek the spheres of yore. The mission we are planning also revolves around a sphere, but I am sorry. I had best say no more.
Renoa doesn't really have a girly one. The other two from FF8 do, but Renoa not really.
My apologies.
That's good, I like Renoa.
There sure do seem to be a lot of weirdos around here.
The Youth League is a motley bunch. Some members certainly have questionable pasts.
I like the fact that Selphie seems like, you know, just the average, you know, hyperactive girl, but then some of the things she said, it's just like, wow, you really think about using a lot more violence than necessary.
Most of us are very devoted. We work hard with
Anyway, so Lucille's telling us about the Youth League and how
the Maven insists that none be turned away.
And
so the occasional bad seed does slip
how
through.
it's a ragtag bunch of misfits.
But I can think of nothing more heartening.
And
than
oh,
for
by
the
the way,
unity
please
to join
join
our
us.
cause. That would do the League much good. I'm very sorry.
So now
why not?
Now she starts
I'm very
saying the
sorry.
same thing, which means you are of no further use to us right now.
So you ask us to join, but then you say, you know, use.
Oh, their leader is planning something secret inside the tent. That's why we can't go in.
Ah.
So, do you remember this guy?
I believe it's been fully 2 years. This calls for a celebration. Perhaps you'd like to hear a story.
Sort of?
He's a very old historian. Anyway, if you're going for 100%, tell him that you'd like to listen to his story, and then put the controller down. Do not press any buttons. You have to listen to the entire thing. Or at least pretend to listen to it and not interrupt it. Here's the thing, though. What he says, it's actually relevant to the plot. Very relevant. Like, if you keep exploring and doing all the side quests you can, then this stuff will all come in.
The Seekers sought out and attempted to set right Spera's history, long concealed and warped.
When I first played the game, I don't think I talked
They
to him.
looked for lessons in that history, lessons
Then again,
to
I'm
lead
not
Spera into a new
personally
age.
gets 100% on games.
The
think
Seekers
I ever
scoured
have.
Spera for ancient spheres, hidden in nooks and crannies.
Oh,
over the
there's a
ages.
point I should
They
make
studied the
here.
images recorded in those
If it's
spheres,
late in the
they
game and I
hoped to find
discover I've
within
missed something that I
clues
can't
to
go back
truly
and
tell
get,
Spera's
I am
past.
not going to start over.
Over time,
I am going to go through
search for
to the end,
spheres
show the
proved
second
quite
best
difficult.
ending,
Some
and then go
pursued
back
it
on
as
my
a
other
profession.
file and show the
They,
best
of
ending.
course, are the sphere hunters, the good,
Because
the
That's a good
bad,
idea.
and
Yeah.
the ugly.
Although if I was smart, I saved a file.
The majority
Crap, did I?
are
I'm
interested
gonna have to
only
check
in the excitement
now and
and
see if I
adventure of it all.
see whether I
But
saved
it is
my
doubtful they comprehend
file
the
from right
gravity
before
of
I
the
finished
search
on my
for
100%
truth.
run, because that's
Very
what I
doubtful.
really should do.
Um,
I mean, that's what I should have saved in case I screw up on this run.
Where was I? The
That's a
founder
good
of the
idea.
Seekers was a man
Trema,
by the
keep
name
that
of
name in
Trema.
mind.
Before the fall of sin,
Trema.
Trema had been a priest in the orders of the heaven.
Most players will never
With the
encounter
Seekers,
will never
he had the
encounter him.
perfect means of
if
revitalizing
you will.
Spera, or so one would have thought. But then, just one
Is it
short
like
year
really
ago,
rare counter?
Trema founded yet another organization.
I will say
the
no
Blue
more.
Yevon Party. It was all
Okay.
quite sudden. He took the many spheres collected by
So it was
the
like, oh, let's
Seekers
collect all
and
these
hoarded
spheres, and
them
oh
all
wait, you know what?
for
I'm decided
himself.
I'm just gonna take all of them. You guys don't get to see what's on
This angered
them.
those who had hoped to use the spheres as a key
Party
to unlock.
phase.
And they're like,
Oh,
dick.
what's to see?
What awoke in Trema's heart that drove him to do this, none can say, save Trema himself. I should very much like to ask him. But sadly, he has vanished.
He's gone somewhere
Blue
it's
Yevon
very
would
hard
not
to get
release
to.
its spheres, yet surprisingly, a great number of people rallied to its
Knowing you
cause.
will probably go there.
Their motto
Yeah,
was
it's probably the most
one
difficult quest in the
thing
game.
At a time, it worked to great effect. It played
So we
on
have the Youth
people's
League who's
fears
like,
of the rapid
let's air
changes
Spira's dirty
sweeping over
laundry,
the
and then we
sphere.
have New Yevon
It
is like,
gave them
no,
something
must
to
not.
cling to. But there were others. who still
I've met
harbored
them
ill will
in the
toward the
playthrough
name of Yevon.
of this game.
And the man who united them,
I never
it
did
was
get
none other than
far
Nude,
when I
the
played
maven,
it.
that is,
The sad thing is that I can really is that I don't find it at all like if this were our world, I don't find it at all strange the concept like a group of them could pop up with people just like saying, "Oh, you have blindfolds for us? Great, let's put them on." If we pretend that there was no problem, then there isn't any. Yevon never did any of that bad stuff.
Gathered
No, of course it
like-minded
didn't.
people
It's
and
just
formed
not like
the Youth
it was
League,
their thoughts in the pit.
drawing its support mainly from Spear's younger generation.
Well,
The League soon
I mean,
matched New Yevon's
my understanding was that that was the result of a
As the
summoning.
organization grew, so did the responsibilities of its leader. I
Already
came
had
here
something
hoping
to do
to
with
speak
sin.
with Maven.
It was not the Church of Yevon that made sin, it was you, Yevon, the summoner.
Ah,
Pity. Looking at all the
And basically by the time of the last game, he was just sort of in this coma. All he could do was summon sin over and over again.
Energy, so much time. While I, on the other hand, have grown weary with the passing of many years. I travel Spear, gathering
So
knowledge
Michan is like,
slip
I'm
my
old,
mind.
my memory is poor.
Just between you and me, I don't
I'm
even
old,
remember
but I don't know how
old I
old.
am. Oh, might I ask you one small favor?
what's his own
What is it?
age? That's not good.
I'd like to shake your hand. If it's not
Which
too
means
much
that either he's forgotten his
touch
birth
the
year or
stars
he's
that
forgotten
hand
how to
defeated
do simple
sin
subtraction.
and saved all Spear. Oh, thank you.
I'll say,
How this old
Yeah.
scholar
yeah.
can
Yes, I'd say that's more likely.
Don't say that.
your hand.
Is
I
something
know I
wrong?
recognise him up close.
So I'm not exactly sure what he found strange about
Lady
Yuna's hand.
Luna, you have
I mean, unless she has the sign of the Triforce on it, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
I have a guess. But I don't think it's ever, like, said definitively what he found so strange.
I suppose it's people who have put up rumours about it.
I will say that Japanese people don't generally shake hands, they bow instead. So it's probably meant to be significant.
Probably.
I've heard that Donald Trump prefers bowing to shaking hands because it's, it doesn't transmit germs. That said, Donald Trump is a complete idiot, so I wouldn't really listen to much he says.
I've heard that name, but I can't think of how I know it.
Real estate mogul in the US. And he may be fine as a businessman, but whenever he gets into politics, he just says the stupidest things ever. He's one of these people who believe that our current president was not born in the United States, and therefore,
I'm one of them people.
can't actually be president. Anyways,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was about to say, there are some silly people like that.
Well, no, there will always be some subset of people who will deny reality no matter how clearly it's thrust in their faces. So Riku is more than halfway done with the Gunner Dressphere in terms of learning abilities.
Yay! That was that 3 more she had to learn.
5 more, I think.
Ah, I noticed 3.
Well, there are 3 that weren't available, but there are 2 that were available and I hadn't learned.
Ah,
By the way, I'm using I'm using potions on everyone because I've collected so many that from this point on it's use them or lose them. You know, because the 99 of one single item type limit.
Yep.